But what is quite common is for vegans to be very cultic in their thinking. So although they're not part of a cult, their thinking is very cultic, and there's a reason why I say that. Now, I've observed and met many people who became vegan. They weren't vegan, became vegan. I saw them right from day one, and some of them I've seen them transform into the most nasty individual that could exist. They suddenly become this horrible person that you don't want to be around. Now, what happens is you come into veganism and suddenly you're exposed to so much gruesome footage, videos, and seeing animals being abused and their rights taken away from them. And this can have an immense effect on your thinking, on your personality, the way you view the world, the way you view your life, the way you carry yourself. I've seen people become like that. And so when you're exposed to these gruesome footage on a regular basis, it has an effect on you. So if you don't channel that passion and that energy and that anger sometimes in the correct way, it can actually damage you negatively rather than be a positive effect on you. And so a lot of people get consumed with that, and it changes. And this is what I saw in the cults, is that a lot of people would join the cult, and they'll be just overwhelmed with what they're hearing and what they're being told and what they're seeing and what they're observing around the world. And a narrative is being sold to them, and it will change their personality because they think they need to do something. What I found in cults is that, what happened often is somebody would join a cult, a religious cult, and that person would change in their personality and the way they relate to other people and what have you. But they wouldn't see it, but their family members would. And their family members would tell me, James, could you help this person? I don't recognize this person anymore. They've changed. They're just so horrible. They're just so mean-spirited, and they just don't understand, and they're not open-minded, and they're just like in your face. Now, one of the signs I found in cults and cultic thinkers and in the cults that I dealt with over the years is they just cannot take criticism. No way. I mean, they say we're open, ask questions, and they say that, but actually they cannot take criticism. They are right in everything they do. Nothing they do is wrong. Everything they do is perfect. Okay, so this ability to not be able to take criticism is a good sign that you are developing cultic thinking. Some cults and people who were part of a cultic group that had cultic thinking wasn't a cult group, but it was a group that had cultic ways and behaviors. Some of them did some tremendous work. I mean, they gave millions to charity and helping the poor and the homeless, feeding the hungry, and amazing things they did. But they were still cultic in the way they behaved and their approach. And so sometimes vegans tend to do that. Yeah, but we're the good guys. We're defending the animals. So we can't be cultic. We can't be wrong in anything we do. Being a vegan is not a license to do whatever you want, say whatever you want, however you want. Okay, it's not a license to identify as perfect. It's not a license where you are just not allowed to be criticized. It's not. This is what I found in the cults. They thought it was a license for them to elevate themselves and say, no, you can't say that about us because we're the good guys, you're the bad guys. I mean, just try criticizing some vegans on social media, on Facebook. Oh my goodness. You are going to see some of the most hostile, mean-spirited people. They're defenders of the truth. They're the ones standing up for the animals. You're the person who's a animal welfarist, and you're the one that's compromising. You're the bad one. You're not a real vegan. Boy, how many times have I heard people say that to others, and then maybe even to myself? That's what the cults used to say. They would always say, oh, but they're not the true believers. They're not the real ones. They're not the genuine ones. I'm the genuine one. I'm the real one. I'm the one standing up for the truth. Listen, friend, that is extreme cult-like thinking. I'll just mention one more thing and about a trait that I see that's very common amongst the cults is they all had this us versus them mentality. It's us versus them. you know. And this is very common amongst vegans as well. It's an us versus them mentality. It's vegans versus the meat eaters, the carnivores, you know, the non-vegans.
So basically, people are looking for answers, and then leaders emerge that appear to have those answers, and maybe they do. And this is how a cultic type leader gains popularity and is created. So basically what they have in a nutshell is a savior mentality. So they emerge as the savior and people follow them. And this is where it becomes a bit dangerous. You're crossing the line there when it becomes like that. So when people follow someone in a cultish way, and like I said, it's not the leader's fault, they tend to mimic that person. Whatever that person says, or however that person behaves, they behave like that. If a person's rude and arrogant, they behave like that. Okay, so don't mimic people. Think for yourself, and don't follow someone in a cultish way. Now, I've noticed that in the vegan movement, when somebody stops being vegan, especially if they're celebrity vegans, you know, YouTubers and what have you, a lynch mob really comes out. You know, people pull out their cameras and start making YouTube videos criticizing them, you know, trying to get more subscribers and views and followers, and they really attack that person. Let me tell you, that is very cultish behavior. That's what I saw for over 30 years working amongst religious cults and counseling them. Okay, this is exactly what they did. Character assassination became the order of the day, and this is what I see vegan YouTubers sometimes do and vegans do on social media: attack someone who's not vegan anymore.